Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing another top 10 list. Today's top 10 list is going to be my top 10 comfort food games. Now, what do I mean by comfort food games? These are the games that I play a lot. And a lot of these games I don't even think are like amazing games, but I have such like a comfort with them, and I will play them at any time. Someone asks me to play these games, I'll pretty much always say yes to them. No matter if I'm down in the dumps or I'm kind of gamed out for the day or whatever. Someone asks me to play these games, I'm like, yeah. And usually, these games aren't like really complex games. I'm not using a ton of brain power for them, but I'm always kind of in the mood for them, no matter how full I am. Sort of like with dessert, your comfort foods for dessert. Like, okay, I'm pretty full, but that pie over there, that's looking pretty decent. I could eat that. So yeah, that's kind of what comfort food games are for me. I'm just kind of, I can play them at any time, and there's a level of comfort, of ease with it. Not a lot of pressure to play these games, but they come out all the time. And yeah, several of these games have never made any of my lists before because, I mean, they are what they are, but there's just that level of comfort for me with them. And so let's just start. So number 10, we're starting number 10. This is a game that I talk about the two-player version of it a lot because I think the two-player version is a much better game for myself. But for this list, I'm going with number 10 is Splendor. Splendor is a very simple game where you're getting these gems and you're using these gems to buy cards, which those cards then represent more gems and gems that you don't have to spend to buy other cards. And eventually you're going to build up this system of gems where you can buy these bigger cards that are going to be worth a lot of points. It's a very relaxing, very easygoing game, unless you're playing Super Cutthroat, which, I mean, Splendor can get cutthroat actually, but it's a good solid game. But I wouldn't say it's amazing ever. But I've played this game probably close to 100 times with different friends. I've taught new people. It's a great introductory game for new people. There's not a lot of mechanics in this game. Getting the gems, spending the gems to buy these cards. And yeah, it works really well. And it's just got that level of comfort for me. So yeah, number 10 is Splendor. Definitely probably my least favorite game on this list, but it continues years and years to come to the table. So yeah, number 10, Splendor. Going to number 9. Number 9 is a game that was definitely a modern classic. It constantly comes out with new editions of different maps for it. This is Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is a very easygoing card game where you're either collecting cards or spending those cards to put little trains down on these routes, and you're trying to complete your different routes, your different route goal cards that you've gotten throughout the game. And yeah, it's a modern classic, and I don't own this game anymore, but anytime someone asks me to play Ticket to Ride, I'm like, yeah, I'll play it for sure. There's nothing inherently wrong with this game. I've played it a lot. I've played different maps of it. I've played different editions. I've played the smaller editions that they've come out with, where they're the smaller, some sort of filler game version of Ticket to Ride. It's a nice, solid game. So number 9, Ticket to Ride. Going to number 8. Number 8 is a card game. It's a secret identity card game. This is Love Letter. Now, in Love Letter, everybody has a card, and that card is their secret identity. But whenever it's your turn, you're going to draw a card from this draw pile, and then you're going to decide to play one of these cards. So you play a card, you do whatever the ability is. Your secret identity is the card that you didn't play, and you're trying to sort of eliminate other players throughout the game, throughout the rounds. You're trying to either be the last person left in the round alive, or you're trying to have the highest card if multiple people survive throughout the whole round. And you play it multiple times. Each round takes, 3, 4, 5 minutes each time. And, you play until someone has so many victories, basically. And it's a solid game. It continues to come out. There's a bunch of different editions of this game. My favorite probably is the Star Wars one, just because I'm a Star Wars nerd. But the regular works really good. a bunch of the different ones work really, really well. It might be my favorite secret identity game because I tend not to like those ones as much as other games, but this one works really solid and is very fast. So number 8 is Love Letter. Going to number 7. Number 7 is a game that I've kind of advocated for on this channel quite a bit over the years, and this is Cabo. Cabo is a memory sort of game, which is not really my sort of type of game usually. I don't really like memory games because I have terrible memory. I'm terrible at this game actually, but it's got that level of comfort and I like to play it a lot. At the start of the game, you have 4 of these cards that are in front of you and they are face down. You get to look at 2 of these cards and then you put them back where you saw them. Throughout the game, you're going to be drawing cards from this draw pile, and a lot of times you're either going to play that card back and use whatever the special ability is of that card, or you're going to replace one of the cards that is face down, trying to get the lowest number of cards in front of you. And if you feel confident that you have the lowest number of lowest total number in front of you, you call out Cabo. And then if you do have the lowest number when everybody reveals their cards, you get 0 points. But if you were wrong and someone else has a lower amount than you get your total of points plus 10. And you obviously want the lower number of points in this game. As soon as someone gets 100 points, the game's over. It's one that I've talked about quite a bit that hasn't really gotten a ton of love over the years, but it's one that will continue to come to the table pretty frequently. Every other month I break out this game. I like to show new people this game. So yeah, number 7, Cabo. Going to number 6. Number 6 actually used to be my favorite game of all time. This is Architects of the West Kingdom. Whenever I play this game now, it feels almost like coming home to me. Because, I used to play this game a ton, and I still want to play this game a ton. But there's not a lot of people that in my game group that want to play it a lot. I bring it to game night so often, but not a lot of people like, which games do you have? And I'm like, Architects of the West Kingdom. Then I name a couple other ones. They're like, well, can we play the other ones? And I'm like, okay. But whenever I get a chance to play Architects of the West Kingdom, I really enjoy it. There's not like a ton of stress when it comes to Architects of the West Kingdom, even though it's a worker placement game. And usually worker placement games, you're a little bit stressed because you're like, I don't want that person to go over there and take my spot. In Architects of the West Kingdom, the worker placement aspect of it is a little bit more freeform. It's a little bit less stressful because you can go to places where everybody has also gone before, and you can continue to go to that same place. And the more you go to a place, the better that spot becomes for you. So there's no blocking really in Architects of the West Kingdom, and I think that's why it's got such a level of comfort for me for this list. It's because I'm not stressed when I'm playing that game because I'm not worried about other people taking my spots that I want to go to. So yeah, number 6 is Architects of the West Kingdom. Going to number 5. Number 5 is a game that people either love or they hate, and that's Wingspan. Wingspan is a game you're collecting these bird cards and putting them in this tableau area, and then you're activating a lot of these bird card powers. And Wingspan is just so relaxing to me. Whenever I play Wingspan, I'm not really worried too much. Even though it is like this Euro style game where you're trying to build out this engine, make the engine the best possible engine you can be. But a lot of times I'm just not worried. I'm like, oh, I wonder how my engine's going to work out this game. I'm not trying to min-max in Wingspan. I'm just trying to, get that bird. That bird's cool. That's a cool power. Okay, I'll bring that over here. I'm not trying to min-max and make my engine the most possible efficient engine ever. I'm just trying to get a bunch of birds, have a good time, and it's just very relaxing to me. I'm not sure why, but it's just got this level of comfort for me, the level of relaxation that it brings to me. So that's why it's number 5, Wingspan. Going to number 4. Number 4 is a flip and write, a roll and write game. And this is Silver and Gold. I have played Silver and Gold so many times over the year. I've definitely slowed down a little bit on it because there's a couple other games that I like just as much as Silver and Gold that do something similar, but I wanted to put Silver and Gold on this list. And it is like I said, flip and write game. You're going to be flipping over these shapes, and then you're going to be drawing that shape into these little map cards that you have. And you're trying to fill out your entire map cards. It's this polyomino placing writing game, and you're just trying to fill out your map. It's so easy going. It's fast. There's only 4 rounds, and each round you only flip over, I think, 7 cards each round. And so you're you're basically only drawing 28 shapes in a game on these little maps. Very fast going game, 20 minutes or so, and it's one that I'll always play silver and gold, no matter what. So yeah, number 4, silver and gold. Going to number 3. Number 3 is a game that, it might be the newest game on this list, actually. This is Cascadia. Cascadia is a drafting game where when you're drafting, you are taking from 4 possibilities. And the possibilities are you're going to take a terrain type or terrain tile, and you're also going to take an animal tile. When you take the terrain tile and animal tile, you put them and add them onto this ever expanding region that you are creating for your own personal self, and then you're placing your animal on one of these spots that can have that animal. And you want to have a bunch of the same terrain types to make a large terrain area to score points that way, but you want to place your animals in a certain way, and all the animals score differently. Like the bears might want to be gathered up in a group, the elk and moose want to be in like a straight line or something, and the animals all score in a different way, which causes a lot of variability in this game. And it's just a great game, and it got really, really popular really fast, and I think for well-deserved reasons. It's a fantastic game. So number 3, Cascadia. Number 2 is a game that's probably the least popular game that a lot of people don't like, and I'm talking about Fluxx. Particularly Doctor Who Fluxx is the Fluxx that I play with my girlfriend, or else the Marvel Fluxx. We play that one as well. A lot of people don't like Fluxx. I love playing Doctor Who Fluxx 2-player with my girlfriend. We played a best of 100 game, a series of games for Doctor Who Fluxx. And a lot of times, if I'm at work or we have dinner or something, we'll break out this game and play a couple games of that. Fluxx can be really, really fast. And at the start of the game, there's only 2 rules. You draw 1 card, you play 1 card. There's no way to win at the start of the game. You're going to learn new rules throughout the game. When you're playing out cards, you're going to get new objectives, and that's how you're going to win. You're just placing these people in front of you, and you're like, okay, if you have this doctor and the TARDIS, you're going to win the game. So sometimes it's like an instant win. Like, oh, I'm playing out this. Oh, I won. And so games can be like 20 seconds, if you're really, really lucky, or they can go up to like 15 minutes or so. And it's such like a relaxing exercise of a game for me to play with my girlfriend. I really enjoy playing this game with her. So number 2 is Doctor Who Fluxx. Going to my last game. My last game is a game that I've talked about a lot on this channel. It makes a lot of lists, and this one just had to, because I play it so often. It continues to come to the table. It's never really slowed down from coming to the table. This is Century Golem Edition. This is a game where there's basically 4 things you can do on your turn, and all 4 of those things are really simple. You can either take a card from this row of cards, you can play a card, and those cards are going to get you different gems, or trade some of your gems for other types of gems. You can buy a golem with the gems that you have in front of you, if you have the correct gems, or you can rest. When you rest, you take all of the cards that you've played back into your hand. Those are basically the rules of the game. And I've played this game a lot with my game group who's played it a lot. I've also introduced this to new people. So this is one of those games that's great for introducing new people to games, but it's also great for your actual just game group in general. And it comes to the table literally pretty much every single month for the last several years now. However long it's been out. I'm not sure when it came out. I mean, on this video, I'll show you guys when it came out, because I'll do my stuff on there. But it continues to come. It's never slowed down from coming to the table. I'll always play it if someone asks me to play it. Sure. I mean, the game is a half an hour long, 40 minutes long, maybe. Fantastic game. So number 1, Century Golem Edition. And that will complete this video, this list of my top 10 comfort food games. The games that continue to come to the table, that have some sort of level of comfort for me, that I will play at any time if anybody asks me to. So comment down below, what are your comfort food games? The ones that will continue to come to the table for you no matter what, no matter how you're feeling. If you're not in the mood for games, someone asks you for this, okay, we'll still play this game. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you'll have an amazing day. Take care.